Picture this. The sun is rising, but it doesn't feel like a new day. You're standing at the edge of the impossible. The sea stretches wide in front of you, deep and endless. And behind you, dust clouds, the thunder of hooves, the clatter of chariots. Pharaoh's army is coming, and they're coming fast. The Israelites are trapped. Your people, your family, are pressed between the sea and the sword. It's not just a dead end, it's a setup for destruction. Children crying, mothers clutching infants, men shouting, "Why did we leave Egypt?" Just picture the atmosphere around. It smells like fear. It tastes like regret. And the enemy is grinning because this is where it ends. Or so he thought. Moses stands with his staff gripped tight, eyes lifted, and God says something to him that flips the script. He speaks not with comfort, but with a command. Why are you crying out to me? Tell the people to move forward. Imagine being in that crowd. You hear the order, move forward. You look at the sea, it hasn't moved. You look at the army, they're getting closer. Move into the sea? Yes, because faith walks forward when fear says freeze. This is the hinge of the miracle, not the parting, not the escape, but the choice to move when nothing looks different yet. Because faith isn't waiting for the water to move. Faith is lifting your foot and stepping toward it. Moses raises his staff. The wind begins to stir, gentle at first, then fierce. It howls, it roars like the heavens are exhaling. And suddenly walls of water rise. Water, angry, chaotic, relentless, suddenly freezes in reverence. Not puddles, not trickles, two great walls, sky high, held back by invisible hands. And right where the sea had swallowed all hope, a dry path appears. Dust kicks up beneath sandals, not wet, not muddy, dry ground. You know, that's why it's some of these pictures that show them walking and there's still water around their ankles. It's not biblically accurate. It said that they walked through the sea on dry ground. That's a miracle in and of itself. Do you know how long it takes the ground to dry out if it's been wet? I mean, just look at if we've had a good rainstorm, it takes days for your driveway to dry out, you know? So just imagine if it's been saturated with water over the hundreds and hundreds of years that sea has been there, and now they're walking on dry ground. A path where there was none, not just survival. It's a statement. When you move in faith, I move in power. And right then, you realize the same sea the enemy thought would swallow you is the place God will bury him instead. The enemy thought he had you. He counted you out. You were finished. But the victory isn't yours just because you fought. The victory is yours because God showed up with you in the midst of the sea. You hear it echoing inside of you, what hell meant to break me has failed. I love that song. Now you're walking, not running, not scrambling in fear away from the army, walking. You look up, water stacked high. You look down, dry ground where mud should be. Your children beside you, your burdens behind you. This is no escape route. This is a battlefield turned blessing. The sea isn't your prison, it's your pathway. The storm wasn't your enemy, it was your exodus. And every step you take is a declaration. Hell tried, but it failed. Every step you take is declaring in the face of the enemy that whatever he tried to throw at you failed. Maybe your Red Sea isn't water. Maybe it's the fear you haven't faced, the grief you won't let go, the calling you keep dodging, the pressure to go back to Egypt, to comfort, to control, to what you've already survived, the change that terrifies you. You've stood on the edge long enough. You've cried long enough. You've begged God to part the waters, and he's telling you, first you take the step. You won't see the water part when you're frozen in fear. But if you take one step of faith and watch what he does, he will part the water. Don't wait for the waves to settle. Don't wait for certainty. Pick up your staff. Pick up your faith. Pick up your courage. Pick up your obedience and move forward. The same power that split the sea, the same voice that silenced Pharaoh, the same spirit that raised our Messiah from the grave, that's what's walking with you and in you right now. Sometimes the sea doesn't part until your foot touches the water. And when it does, you won't just walk through it. You'll look back, not at chariots, not at chaos, but at a sea turned silent and an enemy buried in the very place that he thought he'd win. You'll look back and you'll realize God made a highway through what should have drowned you. He made a highway through what should have drowned you. Every time in our lives, he's made a highway through what should have taken us down. He's made a way through what the enemy meant for our destruction. You know, what the enemy meant to destroy us has been turned into a victory for him, turned into a testimony of the goodness of our God. And you'll whisper what the enemy never saw coming. What hell meant to break me has failed, and now nothing will silence my praise. That's the God we serve. He's the one who made a way where there seemed to be no way for the Israelites. He's the one who makes a way where there seems to be no way for us. He split the seas back then. He's still the God who parts the waters. Whatever it might be in your life, don't get your eyes on the natural, but keep your eyes focused on him. You know, Peter, if he had just kept his eyes on Yeshua the whole way, he would have made it without starting to sink. He was walking on the water. He was walking on top of the situation that seemed impossible. You know, it's impossible to walk on water. Yeah, well, he was with the creator of the water, who has dominion over the water. And the same creator who was walking on the water also told the water, peace, be still. So, you know, when we're walking through situations in life, we need to remember who we serve. And especially in the season of Passover, the season of Nisan, the season of miracles that we're walking in, sometimes all you have to do is look back and say, you know what? God's already made a way through what should have taken me down. God's already made a way where there seems to be no way. And the same God who did it then, he's the same God who's doing it today. He will never leave us. He will never forsake us. He will always make a way. Amen.